In this video, we're going to take a look at some of the stuff that's been released by Blizzard around this PvP beta news drop that they actually hit us with yesterday. And I think there are things here that we've never seen before. Well, there definitely is. You guys can see on the screen right away. There's brand new Zen, there's another image of Sojourn, and there's the new redesign of Brig. And we're going to go into detail on all of this in this video. We've got a load of images. You guys can kind of see them across the bottom of the screen here. But I think as well, there are things hidden in these images, and they're such high resolution, we can zoom right in and we can take a look. You know, Blizzard put these pictures out there, you know, with the intent of getting people excited for the game. That's exactly what they're here for. So let's just get stuck into this. I've got myself a drink. We're going to get stuck into it. It's going to be beautiful. I do love tea, but that comes as no shock to anybody because I'm British. Like, what the hell? Anyway, let's do it. So let's start with Zen straight away. Look at this. New redesign of Zen. Now, what they're doing here is they're adding more like... They're making him look more... He looks more like a monk, doesn't he? As crazy as that sounds, he does look like he's come from the Himalayas, down from a temple. You know, he's been sitting up there ringing a bell for 300 years, and he's come down and he's all wise and he's super Zen and he's Overwatch 2 Zen. I think it looks really cool. They've given him a nice pair of trousers or a pair of pants, I guess, depending on where you hail from in the world, although we all know pants go underneath trousers. Don't get me started on fanny packs either. Where am I even going with this? But Zen looks nicer, right? He's got a nice thick rope around his waist there. He just looks nice. It looks nice. Like, I like this as a redesign. I think it's pretty cool. Some of the redesigns are not great, notably Reaper. I don't think the Reaper redesign is necessarily a step forward. But all the other ones kind of do seem to be, maybe with possibly the exception of Farah, but we'll talk about that in a second. So yeah, Zen looks decent. He's got smaller balls as well by the looks of it, so unlucky there, Zen. All right, let's talk about Brig, because this is the first time we've seen the redesign of Brig. Now, if you guys remember back in 2019, the 0-hour cinematic, Brig and Reinhardt were in that cinematic, and I think Mercy as well. And maybe don't include Mercy. I guess I could check it, but I'm just kind of going off memory here. But Reinhardt and Brig, they were using their old skins. So they clearly hadn't actually designed their new look, whereas you had the new look for Genji in that clip and the new look for Tracer and Winston. I think there was a new look for Winston in that. I'm pretty sure there was. Anyway, this is the Brig, the brand new Brig. And I really, really like this because this is way more than just a little bit of like... a little change to Brig. They've streamlined it. They've made it look more modern. They've given a hoodie, and this has got to be known as like the Blizzard hoodie. They put this on loads of heroes. Hanzo, his casual skin, he's got this on. The new Genji is literally wearing a hoodie. Anna is effectively got a hoodie on her head as well when she pulls her hat down, or when she does this. So yeah, I like this though. I think this looks pretty good. Again, she's still got that element of like, yes, she's a paladin. She's like kind of built on maybe a Diablo 3 Crusader kind of style, but she looks more modern, right? And I think that's kind of what they were going for. And I think this looks better than original Brig. I really do. Original Brig looks a bit bulky, but Brig's got some really good skins on account of that bulky armor. So I don't know. This could be a positive and a negative, but hopefully we can still use Overwatch 1 skins in Overwatch 2, so then who cares? Anyway, let's move on to Sojourn. Now, there's a lot of images of Sojourn floating around now because this whole press drop, this whole beta announce, Sojourn was used as like almost the splash art for all of that. So we've got some really incredible images of Sojourn. There's one particular image we'll get onto in a bit, which is like the detail in her eyes is mental. It's like this must be only possible with the new engine, and I hope it's in-game and it isn't some sort of edited screenshot where they've like pumped it out at some impossible resolution that you can't play the game at. But yeah, it just looks incredible. So yeah, we get a look at Sojourn. We get to see a sort of arm expanding out. We don't know what Sojourn's abilities are. We do know that she's got a railgun though, because we've seen that in footage before, and we do know that she's DPS. But beyond that, yeah, we don't really know too much. And of course, this is it appears to be New York in the background. All right, let's move on to another image. So this one. This is Monte Carlo, but I think something has happened here because if we look at this image right at the very end of my clips, look at this, right? By the way, this is that image I was talking about Sojourn, but we'll get to this later on in the video. But you see this here, it says new maps, Circuit Royale, Midtown, New Queen Street, and Colosseo. I think what they've done is, I think Circuit Royale is Monte Carlo because of Monaco, because of the F1 cars, right? That's what that map's based on. So they've like renamed the map. Midtown, well, that's New York, right? It's got to be. New Queen Street, I mean, I guess this is Toronto because we don't know of any other new maps. And Colosseo, well, Rome, right, for the Colosseum. So it's like they've gone in and they've just like completely removed any real world reference to anything to just completely protect themselves for, I don't know, if something bad goes on in Monte Carlo. Anyway, let's move on. So this image, let's just start with the top first. These are F1 cars, and there's a cool fact about Overwatch. You guys might not know this. I bet a lot of you guys do, though, because it's kind of well known. But no vehicles in Overwatch have wheels. They all hover, because that's futuristic, right? I think it was one of the early design choices they made that. Yeah, let's make everything hover. You don't have wheels in the future. Everything hovers, right? The payload, look, the payload doesn't have wheels. Well, we know this is the case because it's the case in Overwatch right now, but I think that's just really cool. Yeah, so looking at these models, we've got Winston with his AO7 on one of his jump jets. I mean, we've seen this model before. Again, it's something we've seen in the 0 Hour cinematic. We've known about this since 2019 at BlizzCon. Same goes for Reinhardt. We didn't see him in the cinematic, but we've known about him since 2019. In fact, I was in the crowd when they announced this, and I was like, "Ooh, that looks really cool." Because I think there's, I think it says 09 on his shoulder, and does it say 07 or 08 on the one in game, indicating it's like a newer suit or something like that? I think little tidbits of lore. I've probably got that wrong, but yeah. So we've seen that before. May as well. Obviously, we've seen this in the 0 Hour cinematic. Lucio. We've seen him not in the 0 Hour cinematic, but we've seen him in the playable build at BlizzCon 2019. So again, nothing really new there. I mean, a nice effect on his skates though. That looks way more. Well, that just looks way better than it did before. But you'd expect that because it's a newer graphics engine. Now, the one thing I want to get onto here, you can kind of see it on Lucio's eyes, right? But they've got this transparency thing now, which is really, really cool. And I think this must be something they can do in the new engine. Now, look at Pharah. You can see through her visor. This might not have been possible in the old Overwatch engine. So that's like kind of a nice, cool sort of addition. Now, the thing with Pharah, I think this is the first time we see her in an in-game shot. Now, bear in mind, this is not an in-game shot. This is a press shot because the game would not be blurry. You know, you wouldn't have a blurry background if you were playing the game, right? So these models have been posed. They may even have just been straight up photoshopped onto this. Who knows? They've probably just been statically posed in-game, and then they've gone through and then made the background blurry, I guess. But yeah, this Pharah model, at first, I was like, oh, this is just pointless. She looks the same as the old Pharah. But this kind of, like, the vibes I'm getting from this now is like, is it an F-16 or an F-18 Raptor? She looks like a very sleek fighter jet, and maybe that's what they're going for now. Instead of her being like the old sort of bulky-looking Pharah, she's more sleek, more streamlined. And I actually do like the inclusion of these sort of gunmetal silver plates throughout her armor. She looks, she looks actually quite nice. Pharah does. And of course, yeah, Mercy. I don't think did we take a quick look at Mercy, but Mercy, we've seen this design for a long time now. So again, nothing new. But yeah, cool image. So let's. Oh my lord, let's move on to the other image. He says, "Yeah, I'll just press the next." There we go. My thing at the bottom doesn't seem to work anymore, but whatever, it's fine. Now this one. I don't know whether I'm smoking some here. You guys are going to have to tell me. But this Bastion looks absolutely massive. Now, he's on his tank tracks, but... So maybe that just makes him look beefier. I don't know. And we do know that when he's in Sentry mode, he can move, because we've seen this in the... I think it was the Overwatch League Grand Finals, where there was a show match at the halftime slot, and we got to see new Bastion, and he can move around now when he's in his Sentry mode. So when he turns into the big turret, he basically gets tank tracks and drives around. But I'm not sure if it's just perspective or now he is massive. I really don't know. He just seems massive to me, that picture. Oh, and by the way, what is this, Blizzard? I thought in the future nobody had wheels on anything. Why have you got wheels on a bike? Literally, after what I just said in the last image, you go ahead and show me this. I'm not happy about that. I really ain't happy about that. Anyway, we get to see May again, standing on top of a wall, looking devious. Winston jumping in, looking angry. We get Tracer. Again, we've seen the Tracer model, which, by the way, Tracer's trainers look really nice. They sort of remind me of pumps when I was at school. That's probably showing my age, but when you did PE at school, you had to wear a pair of pumps. Anyway, moving on. And then we get a look at the sort of rear end of Torb, because everybody loves to see that. It's got a nice little icon there. But you see what I mean about how high res these images are? We can zoom right in and see loads and loads of information. Now, this is a Toronto map, and to be honest, I don't know whether it's just because we've known about this map for years at this point. I mean, 2019 is 3 years ago now. It kind of just looks like an Overwatch 1 map in some respects, whereas some of the other maps I'll show you in a second really don't. They really, really look like something that is new, more like higher fidelity, higher quality almost. But it's an okay image, that. This one, okay, so if you guys can see up the top left here, it says beta announced Monte Carlo. So they must have still been calling the maps their actual real world names up until very recently, unless this is just an oversight and they forgot to rename the file. But yeah, this just shows us basically a shot of the edge of Monte Carlo, really, because all of this is stuff that's going to be outside the map. You know, it's lower quality. It's there just as like eye candy in the background, sort of fills in the canvas, doesn't it, in the background? I mean, it looks fine. Again, this just looks like an Overwatch 1 image, though. Like, you don't really feel like, oh my god, this is an amazing image. In some ways, it's a strange image to include in the pack list because I think it's kind of weak. It doesn't really show too much off. Anyway, actually, we should also zoom in on the rubber ducky. I mean, what the hell? And also, because it's Monaco, you know, you've got to have a bit of champagne on ice, because why not when you sit around the pool? Oh, and by the way, that's a nice little sort of raised highway they've got on the go there. So yeah, it's okay. Maybe I was being a bit harsh. It's okay. This, though, is then when it just looks completely mega and different in a totally... Like, this looks like an Overwatch 2 map to me. That the focus on this building in the center, this looks really good. This looks like, you know, a southern France or south of France piece of continental European architecture, which it should do because it's meant to be Monte Carlo, right? I think this looks really, really good. I also like these little bits of detail here. And what's interesting here, it actually says Collection Monaco. Now, I wonder if that makes it into the game, you know, because if they're removing all mentions of anything real world for fear of anything actually bad happening in those locations, then I don't know, maybe that won't stay. This statue as well, I don't know whether this is a reused asset from Ilios ruins. It might be, you know, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I'm literally saying that because it's an Overwatch statue. It might be from Malavento, though, actually. I think there's a few on Malavento. Maybe it's been reused, but whatever. We can sort of see here an advert for some champagne. Naturally, there would be champagne on sale. It looks like it's a 2019 vintage. maybe that's some sort of bit of a, well, not a teaser, but a bit of like a callback to when Overwatch 2 was announced or something. We've got this car here as well. Now, this car, if you guys can see that, the headlights on that, this looks like a McLaren to me. Now, I'm quite into cars. I quite like cars. It looks like it's got a McLaren headlights and almost like the front grille of a McLaren. But it could also be a Lamborghini Aventador style thing. I mean, obviously, it's got the big doors. I know McLarens have got dihedral doors, they call them, where they go up. And obviously, Lambos have got doors that go up. But cool. I mean, you would have this. It's Monaco, right? It's an extremely rich area. Like, there's mega rich people on show. It looks like we've got some sort of access to high ground over here. And then we've got some parasols up there. And these lights are just everywhere in the Overwatch world around trees. Because it's like, you can imagine they're like, right, we need to make the tree futuristic. How can we do it? Oh, well, we've got a palm tree. Let's just put a ringed halo light around it that floats. It's like, oh, yes. It's like this thing as well. What is this? It's on loads of maps, this is. It's on, there's loads of these on Dorado, isn't there? It's like a wind turbine or something. I don't even know what that is. But this is cool. I like this. And also, these look like, they look like digital racetrack signs. Because obviously this is the racetrack, right? You can see the way the curve's been painted. And then I guess it follows through and goes over there. Yeah, because that's the image we've seen before of them having a fight over here. So this must be the high ground, actually. Of is there a point round here? Is that a point there? This could be a point. I don't know. But it looks cool. This, to me, though, is like the first one of the images that's like, oh my god, that's an Overwatch 2 image in the whole press pack, which I think is really cool. This one is Grand Central. Well, it's a shot of the Grand Central terminal. And again, this is called the New York map, but I'm pretty sure this is now called Midtown, based off the image I showed you guys earlier on. Yeah, it's a map we've seen before, so I don't think there's... Like, this again, I don't know if I'm being harsh here again, but this again looks like an Overwatch map. Not necessarily an Overwatch 2 map. And it does make you wonder if some of these maps were built for Overwatch and just never actually made it to the game and then did get held back for Overwatch 2. But yeah, I don't think there's too much to look at, really, in this image. Especially not like teaser-wise or anything. There's nothing really going on. So I think we'll move on, but it's okay, that image. And again, this one as well. I think the thing is with these images is I've seen these over and over and over again by constantly only having to make videos on Overwatch 2 with the same like 3 or 4 Overwatch 2 show match VODs, and it's like, oh my god, I've just seen this over and over again. People running up here. I think the video clip is super in Diva flying around over here. So yeah, it's cool, right? I mean, there's some nice touches here. We've got all the traffic in the sky. Obviously, it's like really going to be low resolution because it's miles away. You've got the old sort of architecture mixed in with the new, which again is cool. Like mixing the old and the new is really cool because it keeps that like New York vibe, where New York's always had like a European feel to me, especially with the American cities that I've been to. So in some ways, it does feel more homely than, let's say, LA does to me. That feels like it's alien. But yeah, cool. I mean, what they are actually retaining the name of places in here. So the Bronx is still in here, NYPD, which, you know, you could argue is like, if you're removing the names of organizations, maybe this one, it would be a good one to remove. Because I think they get up to some stuff. Also, it's wheels. Like, is this wheeled or hover? I don't know. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt because these taxis have got wheels on them. But yeah, maybe I'm being overly harsh. I mean, honestly, I don't... Changing the name of places, I think, is a bit ridiculous. Like, just call the map New York and call the map whatever, unless it was always the plan, right? It might have always been the plan to call New York Midtown, for example, because then I suppose you could have other areas of New York as maps, couldn't you, instead of just saying like that's New York and then this is New York too. That wouldn't make any sense. Anyway, yeah, it's a cool image. Let's move on. Now this one, all right then, this is the spice. We're getting to the absolute spice because there's a thing in this image and I'm not going to zoom on it just yet, but you'll probably, oh, screw it, I'm going to do it. This thing, look at that. What the hell is that? That looks way too much detailed to just be a thing. And remember what I've told you guys about the way Blizzard compose these screenshots. They do things on purpose. And this guy's called Magnus, and he looks like a futuristic Roman gladiator. Now, this is the Rome map, the push map, or what we think is now called Colosseo. But that is like, oof. Oof. Oh, I would play a melee DPS hero. That isn't Doomfist. but a melee DPS hero with a sword. But the sword doesn't even have to be melee, does it? It can be like, what's that sword? There's a sword in Destiny, isn't there? What is it? Where it's literally a gun. You're just shooting people with a sword. Just give me that. That looks really cool. And if that isn't a teaser to some sort of future hero or something, then Blizzard, what are you doing? And why haven't you turned this into a hero? Anyway, it looks amazing, that does. I mean, it looks like futuristic Roman gladiator. That is really, really good. That is really, really good. Anyway, the other things we see in this image is we see Reinhardt again. We've seen him a bunch of times. I don't think we can really talk about him too much. But we've not seen this before. This is the new Hanzo. And it's only a little... Like, the new Hanzo is an interesting redesign because Hanzo's got elements to him you can see they don't ever really want to change. That being the sleeve tattoo that he's got. And they've kind of kept Hanzo... I mean, they've changed the bow, but they've kept Hanzo's sort of look very, very similar to the original Hanzo. But obviously, there's big change. I mean, there's big changes because his clothing's a different color. You know, his quiver looks different as well. But look at his face. He's now got grey on him permanently, and his beard kind of looks longer, and his moustache appears longer. And he would be because he would be older, right? Overwatch 2's further along in the future, so it makes sense that they've sort of aged the heroes, especially heroes like Hanzo. So I think this is a cool one. This is like a little tweak to Hanzo, but Hanzo had a really strong design anyway. So I wouldn't like. I'm not really too fussed about them changing him in such like a minor way. I think that's fine, honestly. In the middle of the screen as well, we get the push robot, which is I think this has got a name and I forgot what its name is, but it just pushes the thing, which is what you're fighting over, the movable objective, which goes back and forward in the tug of war game mode style thing. We all know what pushes. We've seen it loads and loads of times. Now, the other component to this image is Genji. We get to see Genji from behind, and for the first time, we see his sheath for his sword, and it's... What's cool about Genji is Genji looks like he's into like tech wear. So obviously he's a cyborg. He would like technology, but tech wear is like futuristic streetwear kind of look. And you can see that's kind of what they've gone for with Genji. And I like the inclusion of the orange, and it's sort of like a little zipper. It's really cool. And obviously, again, he features the hoodie. which is what this is literally now known as the Overwatch hoodie. We've got to redesign a hero, just give him a hoodie. It's like, yes, job done. So pretty cool. But yeah, I like this, and also this is like crazy. I mean, this looks like it's inside the Colosseo, and it's a omnic or robotic chariot horse, because it looks like it's attached to something there. Really cool. This map, I want to see more of this map, because this map looks really, really cool. But this guy, honestly, good lord, give me that guy. So we get another new look at hero here as well, and a better look at Zen, and a better look at Sojourn. So firstly, we get the new look at Bastion. Not really, that's the bloody payload bot. Anyway, let's take a look at Sojourn first. So we see more of a profile shot of her, I guess. We see her in action. This is what she must look like when she's firing a weapon. I still think she's a really well-designed hero. Like, the thing with Sojourn is, I need to know what the hell is her lore, because most of her body, when you look at it, is literally... It's robotic. Like, she's had cyborg enhancements, but why? To make her a better soldier? Or was she, like, involved in some sort of horrific accident, or got blown up or something? Maybe she got blown up when the Overwatch headquarters was destroyed. I don't know. And we can kind of see these, like, I don't even know what that is, poking out of her leg, and massive thighs. It's just crazy. It's like, looks really, really good, Sojourn does. But this is one we've got to talk about, because why? What even is this? Like, so this is the reworked Sigma. And I don't even know what to say about this, because it just looks like... It feels like it's a rushed rework. It's like, right, we need to change Sigma, so let's change him. But I wouldn't have even bothered changing Sigma, because Sigma and Echo, why bother changing them? They're the most recent heroes to be added to Overwatch. I know it's years ago now. Just leave them be. I mean, we don't know what this looks like in game, though. Maybe the plates on his head move around or something. I don't know, but I don't know about this one. And also, he still has his feet out, because, indeed. So we get a look at Sombra again. This is a skin we've seen a hell of a lot. This was one of the first ones teased, I think it was, of the new... No, sorry, it wasn't the first ones teased, was it? Because those were the ones back in 2019. This was teased at one of those summer game events, I think. Might even have been the Game Awards, I don't know, but... Yeah, again, she's going down this path of, like, tech wear, which makes sense. She's a hacker. She's got, like, very clear... These look like IDE cables from old hard drives just attached to her, like, data cables, basically. You can see what they're going for. It looks really cool. She looks nice. I like the side of her head as well, with this, like, glowing implant. Looks ridiculous. And again, using the sort of IDE cables to do her hair with. It looks cool. And a weapon looks really cool as well. Look at that. But, like, you look at her redesign, and then you look at this in the background. It's like, well, what's gone on here? Did you spend... a year on this one and then a week on this one? I don't know. Maybe that's me being harsh. I'm not sure. And this is a look at Zen. And by the way, Zen's balls look bigger now. So maybe he hasn't had his balls shrunk, poor Zen. But yeah, he's got boots on now, Zen. Oh, I didn't realize that before. So he's got boots on, nice pair of trousers, or new nice pair of trousers, because he sort of had like frayed shorts on, didn't he, before? Nice bit of red. What do you even call that? It's like tassel. That's the word I'm looking for. Red tassel. But I like Zen. Like, Zen looks nice. Zen looks like an upgraded version of him, but I just don't know what is going on with this Sigma. I really don't. You guys let me know in the comments below if you think this is actually a good redesign. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's a weird one. And again, this is on the Toronto map. Or what were they calling it now? New Queen Street. At least I'm guessing. Now this. Oh my God. This is a picture. Look at this. This, again, looks like Overwatch 2 to me. So, I don't know. Like, I mean, I may be completely wrong here. I may just be like, you know, for all we know, or we get a better look at the horses as well on this image. But for all we know, this could have been the first Overwatch 2 map they made. Or it could be the latest one. And I feel like it's the latest one because it just looks so much more detailed than the other maps. I mean, just look at the detail on the wall here. Look at this. Like, look at that. That is way more detailed than Toronto. So Toronto must be an old... Well, we know it's an old map because it's from 2019. But we just don't know when Rome was finished. I mean, obviously, yeah, this is not going to be super high quality. But this is not... You know, this is not really part of the map. It's like off to the side, isn't it? Well, this must be the Colosseo. But yeah, just look at this. Look at it. there's so much detail. You've got these like crazy gates with like some sort of cargo ship going through in the background. I mean, I'm guessing this is outside of the map, like to give it more depth and perspective, but Jesus, this looks incredible. We sort of got these like Cleopatra style needles on the go. It's really cool, this is. Anyway, Circuit Maximus. There we go. And that's a bit of a better look at these robotic horses. So it is. Maybe that's the guy from the other image riding the chariot. They look badass, though, they do. Maybe this guy's a hero. Like, this is the thing. Like, this might be a stupid tease for a hero in the future. But, I mean, just look at the detail. Like, literally, the detail on this blows my frigging mind. It's so much better than the other maps. And I'm not sure whether it's got different map designers on it, different artists on it, or it's just a newer map. I just don't know. It just looks way, way better. We've kind of got an image here that says 8 down. I don't know what that is. Bar Sport. But, I mean, honestly, I like that screenshot. That is really, really good. I mean, even look at this window. Like, look at that. I love it. It's just, this is really good. I mean, this thing, look at it. What is this? The detail. It's amazing. Love it. Oh, another one. So this is kind of like a low. Oh, okay. We can see this in a bit more detail. So maybe this is a hero. We'll just call everything a hero. Now we know that in the past, Blizzard have put these, bits of artwork blatantly in our face and then nothing. It might have just been concept art for a hero years and years ago, or a scrapped idea. It could be anything really, but yeah, interesting stuff though. Look at that. What's this? But there's so much detail on this map. It's crazy. It's like they've just look at the images. They look so goddamn good. We've got Gelati Bibiti. If anyone's Italian, they're just losing their mind. Like, look at this idiot British geezer trying to speak Italian. He's got no idea. He's an idiot. But I think this is just like an ice cream shop, right? Yeah, ice cream cones. I know that gelato is a ice cream place in America, right? Oh, what's this? What's this? Somebody needs to fix this, guys. We wouldn't have the railing going through the wall, would we? It's cool. I just think this map's cool. Like, it seems to have loads of detail in it, like incredible amounts of detail. Good stuff. Okay, let's take a look at Sojourn. So this is from the press. Well, all these images from the press pack, but we get more of like we get more perspective of the way that she's been sort of designed and a more detailed look at her. And the thing with Sojourn is this to me just looks incredible. Like, she must have she's obviously got implants in her eyes, denoted by these things under her eyes, and the fact her eyes look like, you know what they look like? And they might have been based on this. If you guys have ever watched Star Trek, Geordie LaForge gets his eyes replaced in one of the movies. I think it's Insurrection. I think it is. It's not a very good film. But his eyes look exactly like that, and maybe they've took inspiration off that. But like, obviously, you could zoom in and do all kinds of crazy stuff and see different wavelengths. So maybe that's what Sojourn can do, because we know that she's an Overwatch commander. So it would make sense, right, for her to have these like tactical abilities. But she just looks so good to me. Like, I know, again, she's a hero we've seen for a long time. We know she's Canadian. That's why she's being posed on the Toronto or the new Queen Street map. But do really like her. I do really like the detail they've got on her. I do really like the detail they've got. I was actually looking at her nails. But yeah, I think she's really good. Oh, and so we get okay. So this gives us a little bit of a hint, doesn't it? So this is at the top of the video, and I was talking about when we can look through these images and try and guess what's going on. Now, she's sliding on the floor here. So these things coming out of her legs are obviously some sort of propulsion system, which is launching her across the floor. And she is also firing something out of her wrist. Now, this might be the railgun. It might not be the railgun. I don't know. Because the railgun, I think we've seen in the footage from the BlizzCon Online stuff, I think that was being fired from the weapon. I mean, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was coming out of the weapon as she was firing, not like an alternate fire, or there was no animation, at least, of her like lifting up her arm and firing stuff out. So I don't know what this is, but again, this is a tease to the way she works. So highly mobile. She's got some sort of rocket-powered slide. She's got this railgun, and then she's got some sort of other ability, which she can use, which I just like, And again, it's on the Toronto map, so really, really cool. Now, you see what I mean, guys, about the Rome map, and then you look at this. This looks like an old map, doesn't it? It doesn't anywhere near look as complex and as detailed as Rome does. You know, and maybe that's me just being harsh, but like just looking at these buildings, they don't look like they're as fancy. But maybe that's just the style of the place. Like not everywhere is going to have like European style architecture, right? There will be places where, you know, walls will be flat. But even like looking at the bricks here on the wall, the bricks they just look like a simple texture. Whereas if we just go back a few pictures and we look at like Rome, like this, like look at that. I mean, they're obviously textures as well, but they're just way better textures. It just looks way better, doesn't it? Like I'm trying to convince myself here in the video, but there's just no convincing. That looks incredible. This maybe doesn't look that incredible. But also maybe it's just because we've seen this map before for years and years and years. Yeah, and like this one again, another look at it. I mean, we just get to see some bits and pieces. This doesn't look like it's in the map though, does it? So the way to tell if something is part of the map and not part of the map is the size of it. So what they do is they make it much smaller when it's further away to give you the sort of illusion that it is further away, but it's not. So it's closer but smaller, and it's like a perspective trick. This looks like a perspective trick to me because this looks really small, the tree there and whatever. But I don't know, it's a bit of a weird image. This is, I guess they're trying to show off this futuristic skyline in the background. I don't know, like it's not blowing me away. All right, I want to end the video on this because this image here of her eyes, they look incredible. And if this is what she looks like in the game, that is actually mind-blowing. Now, we have just seen some screenshots of the way she sort of looks in the game. But this just looks really good to me. It just looks absolutely amazing. Like the detail, like the fidelity, the quality of that looks incredible. Even the hair, like look at the hair. There's like individual strands of hair going on there. Like we've never seen this before in Overwatch, right? I mean, what the hell? That looks mental. Anyway, this image, and the reason I wanted to end the video on this is there's a little bit of text at the bottom, and I think some people have been confused as to where you can actually play the beta and where you can sign up for it. So you can only play it on PC, which is unfortunate because I know there's loads of you guys out there that play on console. I'm sure Blizzard would give the age-old excuse of, well, the thing is we can't run these on consoles because every time we want to update something on the console, we have to effectively pay Microsoft or Sony, and we also have to go through like an accreditation, so they have to check the quality of the update, and it takes ages, so it's just not feasible. Which is probably is the answer why we won't get it on console. But I know it's crap, guys. Don't get me wrong. If you're playing console, it's absolutely crap. You know, you don't get to experience this until, well, whenever the game comes out, whenever that will be. But the information we get is 5v5, new hero Sojourn, 4 new maps, Circuit Royale, Midtown, New Queen Street, Colosseo. But at the bottom, it says PvP beta only available on PC. Available on PC only. Internet connection, BattleNet required, blah, 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 blah. So a bit unlucky. But this text, they only include it on this image. It's not on some of the other images, which is kind of a bit cheeky of Blizzard, really. New mode push, hero reworks. This is for the beta in April. To Orisa, Doomfist, Bastion, and Sombra. Obviously, there's a lot of talk of Doomfist being changed into a tank, which was really hinted at by Jeff Goodman a couple of months ago. Well, quite a few months ago now, on competitive Overwatch Reddit. So maybe that's what this is. Maybe we're going to get to see him like reworked as a tank. And a new ping system, which was something they did kind of tease a little bit in the past. And so it'll be interesting to see how this works. Basically, all I want to be able to do is to say there's an enemy over there somewhere. Because, like, you guys have probably been there in the past where, you know, when you're just, like, firing at a wall and you're trying to, like, convince your team, there's somebody behind the wall, please help me. You know what I mean? And it's like, come on, is anyone going to help me? But if you could just ping the wall, then, you know, that's great. Of course, obviously, we don't want this to be abused and everyone pinging everything, because that would be absolutely annoying. All right, so before we do get out of here, I just want to show you guys this. So this is the update post on the Overwatch News page about the beta. So this has got information on how you can go ahead and get, you know, part of the test. In fact, what I will do is I will link directly to the beta page, or at least the beta sign up page in the video description. So if you do want to check that out, but remember it's PC only, go ahead and sign up for it. and get stuck in. But yeah, this just gives us a little bit more information based. Well, it doesn't really give us a little bit more information. It just gives us the same information in a different format to what we've already got. So we do know that PvP beta will begin in late April for PC in select regions. We also do know that there is, if you guys have watched the dev update, there is an alpha for Overwatch League pros and select partners, which is going to go on. And that's happening now because obviously Overwatch League pros need to be able to play the game, because like next month they're supposed to be starting Overwatch League and they haven't actually got the game. So yeah, they do need it. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I think I'm going to end the video at that. I know this has been a bit of a chunky video, but I just wanted to sit down with a drink and just sort of go over this and be like, because it's been so long since we've got anything to do with Overwatch that isn't bad news or news of like people leaving or delayed, or the game's outright delayed, or just, you know, stuff like that. Or all of the legal stuff that's been happening at Blizzard, the horrific work environment and stuff like that. And you know, as bad as this might sound of me to say it, I kind of want to make fun videos, not boring videos, but not like overly serious videos. You know, I like to play Overwatch. Overwatch is my favorite game. Like, that's why I make all these videos on Overwatch. So it's just been really, really good. Like, I don't know, like, you guys have got to you've got to anchor me in reality here. Am I overreacting to this? I don't think I am. I think I'm taking this in my stride. I'm not like losing my mind like this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. It's the best thing since sliced bread. I don't think I'm doing that, but it's almost like this is the chunkiest bit of info we've been given for 3 years. Well, not 3 years, because we got Echo, didn't we, in 2020, but very early 2020, just before the whole pandemic came to light. But yeah, all right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for watching the video. If you do want to support me, guys, do subscribe to the channel, like the video, that helps a load. Leave a comment below. I do read the comments on all the videos, so if you leave a spicy comment, you might get a response, or at least you'll get a like or a favorite on YouTube. And yeah, follow me on Twitter, which is @Stylosa. I'm also Stylosa UL on TikTok, and I'll drop some sick TikTok, so get into that. But apart from that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Toodaloo.